5, 4, 3. Oh.
It's gonna get trimmed anyway. Last week I was like, I need one of those clappers. I don't know.
Right. No need for perfection here.
Yeah. Yay, Erik, I'm so excited that you're joining us for this interview.
Yeah, this is kind of fresh. I wasn't expecting to be doing something like this. And yeah, I've just been in such a different mode lately with a lot of tech work for the ministry and things, but very little music. So feels very refreshing to me.
Good.
Yeah, grateful for the invitation.
Yeah.
We're grateful to have you here.
Well, this is so exciting because you have so much music that you've written and that you've shared over the years, and and I'm just excited to go into it and just explore your the motivations and the inspirations that have prompted you and what music has meant to you and on your journey, on your path. So, but yeah. I mean, initially, well, I don't know if it's helpful to talk about the past, but initially you were inspired to become like a troubadour was the word that was used, right? Like a musical
minstrel.
Minstrel, sorry.
Minstrel, yeah, but close enough. The same.
Close enough.
Same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Right. Oh, so right, as a traveling minstrel, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So and in a way, and you did that for a long time. You toured and now it's more of an online extension, right? So more of an online. You're not so much of a physical touring around.
Yeah, especially with the whole coronavirus thing right now. There's not a whole lot of demand for physical concerts, but doing some online. I haven't actually been doing much performing lately, but yeah, it feels like I'm just open, just always like Spirit use me. I'm open to being used in any way, whether it's tech or music or so. Yeah, and even prior to the troubadour thing or the minstrel thing, I was really inspired by hypnotherapy, and I wanted to be like a Course in Miracles hypnotherapist. And then I started kind of connecting with David, and I quit my whole hypnotherapy career at that time. But then I didn't know what I was going to do, and I hadn't really thought of music as even an option. It just felt like a campfire hobby at the time, but he said, I think you're going to be like a traveling minstrel. And this was back in 2009. And I just remember when he said that, like at first I had to look up on Google what the word minstrel even meant. But and then I read it and I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. It like has the first 3 letters are the same as minister. And I could feel that there was this deep like simplicity about that, just being a traveling minstrel, like no agenda, no career, even just basically just being willing to go wherever, just kind of float around the country or something and sing songs about love and forgiveness. And I couldn't think of anything more inspiring to me at that time. So
and that's exactly what you did, right? You did just end up traveling at that time. I guess you were with Armel.
Yeah.
And you just traveled and all over in Europe and the US, or just Europe, or?
Yeah, initially it was Europe, because Armel, I mean, I first was like, okay, I say yes, I'll be a traveling minstrel, but I didn't really have a plan, and nothing really was coming in clearly, like, okay, where do I go? And then it wasn't actually till 6 months later that Armel independently got this prompt to, you're going to marry Erik. You're going to get married with Erik, and you're going to go on a world tour.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah. And then that was what kind of kicked it off, like the world tour idea, and then getting married, and then we were like a duo, and she started having songs pouring through her as well. I had already started to hear new songs. I'll probably play one of them, that Just Relax song. That was the first one that came, but then there was all the collaboration with her and all the healing and relationship forgiveness work that started coming in. And yeah, we were touring in Europe for a bit in the beginning, and yeah, that was quite deep
Wow.
and healing
Yeah.
and exciting.
I can only imagine. And I didn't know that. So the first song was Just Relax. That's the very first song.
Yeah, I think yeah, maybe that was the one I needed the most to help me calm down.
How appropriate.
It was like
Yeah.
my whole life was getting like turned upside down from being I mean, I was already traveling. I was a traveling hypnotherapist, like I mentioned,
Right.
and so I was pretty used to traveling on my own. But I felt like I was very independent, and like I was like a bachelor, and I liked it that way. I had the thought I would never get married. So when
Right.
this guidance came in to get married with Armel, I was like kind of freaking out. But I already had Just Relax had come to me at the time, and I was playing that for people, and that song, I mean, so many people told me how helpful that's been for them too, because I know for me, just listening to the lyrics of that song, I could just feel like it was like I needed that reminder, just relax, like over and over to let go of all the ego stuff that was coming up, all the
Yeah.
fears, and yeah. Like
With
where
that song,
I
one
can
thing that
imagine like that could just be a mantra all day.
yeah, yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to share that with that message. I mean, the message itself, just relax. Like some things have been seeming to come in around that, and in terms of like, are we relaxing our bodies? Are we relaxing your mind? You know, and I think that I don't think that there's like a set way, and that the curriculum's highly individualized in a way. But I think that for me, it seems to be coming in like, you don't need to just relax your body. That's different. Like just relax your mind, you know? So I think I've like paired those things together in some way. And I think they're kind of like, it's like separating out a little bit.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
I know, you know, one other thing we were talking about as far as like inspired works. And I think we were curious. I was curious about how you define, I guess, what your define, how you define that, or how you describe that, I guess. Like I know that with like the Course in Miracles, like Helen Schuckman, her name wasn't even on it, and she said, you know, she was a scribe essentially, you know. And I know other people sometimes speak about, you know, channeled works. um, Helen also has like the work, the gifts of God, and that she describes as being an inspired author for, you know. So I don't, are there differences there? Like, have you had like, and even like if you have had works before it was inspired, like if you were a songwriter before that at all, if you had original material and like that transition through there, like how
Yeah.
is it for you?
Yeah. I had written songs before that. I was in a band in college, and I had written several songs for the band, and kind of more hard rock type music, and then when these songs came in, I mean, yeah, I could feel like they were coming from a different place. They were coming from a different source. They came really easily. They didn't really feel like a lot of work. I still felt like I was putting my mind into it, like trying to come up with good transitions in the songs. There was a little bit of it felt like kind of personal involvement in the songs, but I think that's probably just because Spirit knew that I wasn't really ready to be like a pure, maybe like pure channeling. Like I needed to have a little bit of ego involvement or something to feel like it was like I wanted it to be like I wanted it to be mine in a sense. There was still that attachment, but and then when when people would ask me like, "Oh, did you write this song?" I would always just kind of tune in, like, sometimes I would say, yeah, I wrote it, or I feel like I didn't really write it myself, but it kind of came through me, or sometimes I would go into that more depending on who I was talking to, because obviously if you're talking to someone who's not into spirituality at all, sometimes it's just easier to say, yeah, I wrote it, because that's what they'll be able to accept.
Mm.
But it definitely did feel like a different process than what I had done before.
Mm.
And so is it like words and music? Like is there
Yeah.
like
It was the whole package. Yeah, it all kind of came. I think I heard the melody of the words first. Like for Just Relax, I just remember hearing. I was sitting at my parents' house actually out on the back deck, and I had just kind of started this whole new life. I had let go of my hypnotherapy career. I was like, oh my gosh, like my mind was expanding, and then I just remember sitting out on the back porch and I started hearing it like, just relax, go slow. And I just remember going, oh, that's great. And I grabbed a pad and paper and started writing it down. And then I think, I can't remember if I got all the words before I grabbed the guitar at some point and started figuring out the chords. And that came really quickly too. But yeah, it was just a kind of being given the song.
Yeah.
In a sense.
That's so loving. I love that. It's just like the spirit just sort of ushering you into this new chapter, and everything's been turned on its head, and you get this sweet song that's so loving, just saying, don't worry about it, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what you needed to hear.
Yeah, it was exactly. And I needed to just hear it and then sing it. And I got a lot of opportunities to sing it. Like just every time I was with people, they'd be like, oh, sing your new songs. And so I just had a lot of opportunities to reinforce those ideas.
Wow. Wow.
And this is an opportunity too, if you choose. I don't know, is now a good time, since we've been talking about Just Relax, to give it a whirl?
Yeah, if that feels good to me. Yeah.
Nice. We appreciate.
Okay, sweet.
All right.
Okay, yeah, this is the first song, Just Relax. Just relax and go slow. There's no need to hurry, for there are no monsters chasing you. Just be still and let go. There's no need to worry, and there's nothing that you really need to do. Take time to look inside, for I can promise you there's nothing about yourself you need to hide. Take off the mask and let the light shine on your innocent face. You've never done anything wrong. Nothing scary to protect yourself from. Your nightmares are over, you don't need to run. Just open your eyes and see there's nothing to fear. All of your nightmares have long disappeared. Long time ago, you dreamed you'd left home and wandered outside in the cold all alone. You tried to make do with all your substitutes, but they could not erase the pain of forgetting the truth. Well, it's still in your heart and still in your soul. Just take off your heavy armor and let it go. And listen to me while I sing you this song. Your friends are all here and you're not peace. So just relax and go slow. There's no need to worry, for there are no monsters chasing you. Right here and right now, you can be at peace. Only love is all around.
Oh my goodness.
It's a beautiful song.
Oh, I needed to hear that again. That was beautiful for me.
Yeah,
I
me
just,
too.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just on a call right now. Yeah. Sorry. That was so beautiful, Eric. I can't tell you. It struck me so deeply. It's an amazing song. Just amazing. I'd never heard it. It's like I never heard it before. Literally. It's like talking, you know what it struck me was like talking somebody off of a ledge because it's so articulate. It's like, just relax. You're with your friends. You're loved. It's okay. There's nothing scary. It says so much all through it. It's an amazing song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So easy to forget that stuff, like even I feel like I forget it all the time still. Like the ego just will not
yeah.
quit. The ego is so vicious.
Yeah.
As we go deeper on this spiritual journey, it will not quit. And
No.
yeah, just remembering, I feel like I have to remind myself of that message every day, many times a day. Just
Yeah.
there's no pressure, there's no coercion, you're not being forced to do anything, just relax.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. I know the ego's never going to be like, oh, okay, I give up. You.
Yeah. I'll let you. All right.
Go on
I'll let
home
you
to
wake up.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and go on home to God. I'll just die.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or if it does,
no.
it'll
I
turn it
know.
into a guilt trip. Like, oh, I'm just going to go die.
That's
Fine.
right. That's what our elderly parents might say to us. Like, oh, just go on your spiritual journey. I'll just die. You don't want to take care of me.
No, don't worry about me. I'll be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Right.
Oh God.
Yeah, the ego has many voices and tricks.
Oh, indeed. Yeah. Yeah. Powerful song. Thank you. So grateful for that. Whew. Yeah.
Do you have any? So I know that you said you haven't been playing that much because you've been doing a lot of, have been put into a lot of other projects, or given a lot of other projects, I should say. Do you? Does that mean like playing for people, or do you still pick up the guitar and play for yourself at times too, or is that
Yeah.
come and go?
I've actually been picking it up more and more. The past, I don't know, I think it started about a month ago. I hadn't picked up the guitar in a while, or at least very infrequently. And then Emily, so you guys know Emily, she contacted me and said she wanted to sing a song at this upcoming online retreat we were having, and she wanted me to learn it and do a backing track. So I was like, okay, I haven't played guitar in a while, but I'll give it a shot. And I was kind of rusty at first. I was like, I was kind of, oh man, I don't know if I can do this. And then I just kind of, I talked to some more people and wanted to be sure that it was helpful for me. And everyone was like, yeah, do it. Like, just learn it. And so I did. And it felt so good. It felt like just remembering, almost like I had forgotten how much the music can soothe me. And it like helped me remember, oh yeah, this is my heart right here. And since then, I've just I don't know if I'd say I've made a point of picking it up more, but I just happen to have been picking it up a lot more and playing old songs and and kind of refreshing myself on some of the newer songs that I've written, which were, about over a year ago that I wrote, but kind of my latest ones. So
Wow.
yeah, it's been kind of nice to let it kind of come and go, and it
Yeah.
feels like it'll just always be there with me, like always, like I'll always have it as this thing.
And have you been writing a lot of new songs? I mean, I know you've been writing new songs, but like more recently, is there any new songs that have come through, or is
There
that?
haven't really, like the last, I think I wrote two songs a little, maybe a year ago or more than a year ago. I had a couple of songs come through me in a pretty short time, and
Mm,
one
oh,
of them
great.
was I was in a hermitage experience. I was in the trailer in the campground at the monastery,
Mm,
and I was there for like 10 days to just sink in. I didn't know what my next step was going to be, and then this song started coming to me, and and that one was quite different than the first songs that came to me 10 years ago. Like this one I just played, and then there were like 10 other songs back then that I had written that became my first album. But the two that came to me most recently, about a year ago, were a different quality. Like I had gotten a lot more into Christian music actually in the last 10 years, and because I used to hate Christian music because I hated Christianity. And then after studying A Course in Miracles, I was able to start kind of coming back and listening to Christian music and Christian preachers even, but from A Course in Miracles perspective, and realizing that everybody wants the same thing. We all just want to feel loved, and it doesn't really matter what the theologies are. There was like a heart behind it, and so these last two songs were much more, I would say, personal. Like they felt like it was more like me singing to God, which, you know, I used to feel like, no, it's just all oneness, and I didn't even want to talk in a way that sounded dualistic, or personal. But these songs that came through, they felt like it was more of a, almost like my ego had to sing itself just to be like, help me, or I love you, like offering praise to God, and
Yeah.
thanking him. And they felt more like Christian songs, which I was kind of embarrassed about at first, but
Right.
I just felt like it is where my inspiration was the
Yeah.
most.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I have not done a survey or anything with this, but I like Course in Miracles musicians, or musicians that seem to surround the course in a way, um, that where like they usually get thrown in with like Christian gospel. Like if there was like a genre assigned, that it just falls in the Christian gospel category. I have seen spiritual pop up a little bit more, but it is interesting in a way. And as
Yeah.
far as like trying to assign like a genre to the music or something like that, and how it comes up, and I even like Christian music. Like it seems like there's such vast variety within like the Christian genre. Like the messages aren't consistent from song to song, and in a
Yeah.
certain way, it's like almost limiting in a way. It's like you want people to know about it, and people are familiar with the genres that they're familiar with. I guess it'd be nice. Maybe the spiritual is it, like, and
Yeah.
that's broad.
Yeah.
How do you feel about genres and
I kind
classifying
of,
music?
yeah, I feel like since I've really gone more into just forgiving Christianity, like forgiving the way that Christianity has been used by the ego for 2,000 years, and now we have A Course in Miracles, which a lot of people say, why did Jesus write A Course in Miracles in Christian terminology? And the answer is because everybody needs to forgive Christianity. like and so
Yeah.
this is the Spirit's way of using the same like terminology, like words like atonement and sin. Even he redefines them, though. He redefines everything. And
Mm,
so
mm,
I kind of feel inspired by the idea of A Course in Miracles being thrown into the Christian category of Christian music, because in a sense, it is Christian. It's like, I would say it's the true Christianity, and we're I feel like it's an inroads for people who may be, there actually are a lot of people around the world who really love Jesus and they feel a resonance with him, but they're starting to question the Christian religion, and yet they still want to be connected to Jesus. So they may find one of my songs or any Course in Miracles musician and be like, oh, there's something a little different. Like it doesn't have all that like sacrifice and hell and brimstone kind of
Guilt.
stuff in it, but it's still using the symbols I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very broad genre. Yeah. It can cover so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like kind of forgiving those. I love what you just said about forgiving the idea of Christianity, of forgiving the idea of even language and what that means and the way we categorize things. And Christian, oh, that means this. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, then I don't like Christian. And it's like automatically how we shut out all these possibilities because we've already, the description that we've given it is, like the labels that we put on it just aren't accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the same way that A Course in Miracles has helped a lot of people start that process of healing, of forgiving the way that the ego used Jesus and used the symbols of, in the same way that the Course has done that, there's now Course in Miracles music that can do the same thing, just from another angle though, for those who maybe aren't as intellectual, maybe they're not really ready to actually read the Course in Miracles, but because it's such a thick book, but they can maybe open up to some music that uses Christian symbols, but in a way that only promotes love and forgiveness, and without the overtones of sacrifice and those kinds of things. So
Blame and guilt.
blame and guilt and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's happening in a larger way too. It seems to be showing up in even like what we could call like traditional Christian, like in the overall genre. It seems to be that things are more like opening up more in that way, I guess. Like there's not like it's losing that. Like there's more artists that are losing that, and but they don't have anything to do with Course in Miracles necessarily. It's just that it's like kind of falling away. Like they're focusing on the love, it's just like all about the love, and that's what they sing about. And even like the terminology seems, or what the words, the symbols that they're using seem to also leave it open for more people that maybe don't relate to the Christian or that are anti-Christian music, even though they would still be in that Christian music genre. If you heard the song on the radio, you might not even be able to tell that it's a Christian song necessarily, but the message, because the message and the words that they're using aren't as it's just more open, I guess. It's not as triggering, I guess. It doesn't seem to be as triggering, I guess. Certain words.
Yeah, not as conservative and tight.
Yeah. There's some songs that come to mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all. I was just gonna say it's all part of just a healing that's happening for everyone, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. On another note, I was going to ask a question that just came to mind to ask you around collaboration. And I know over the years you've collaborated a lot with different musicians like Ricky, and she comes to mind first of all, but I'm sure there's been others too. Tamara Youngblood, Ricky Como, and just what would you say about that, on that topic of collaboration and the value of that?
Yeah, I mean, it started with Armel. Like when we got married, like I said, she started immediately having songs come to her, and she had no musical training whatsoever. So she would come to me with she'd be like, Eric, I just heard a song. Like maybe, can you see if we can make a song out of it? And it would just come in like maybe a form of like a poem, but she would also hear a melody, and so we would start collaborating on this like poem song that she heard, and I would try to find the chords, and it was really, it kind of, I almost feel like it was Jesus like tricking me into using what I love, which is the music, to guide me, or to kind of pull me into like a collaboration that would ultimately be for the loosening of my ego preferences, because Armel's songs, they weren't usually what I would prefer to write in terms of like my musical stylings and my musical preferences. Like I remember one of her songs, I just thought, this song is so corny and so like girly. It's too girly. Like I was like, this is not cool. This song is not cool. But but I was like, she was like, this is my song and we're gonna write it. And then we would get into these like arguments around how to phrase certain things, or can we just change this one word here, and no, this is the word I heard and this is the word we're gonna and then she'd be like, this is my song, and so we'd get into these things, and I just had to keep like, okay, I need to, this is all for me to. Even before that, actually, I remember even before Armel, I was collaborating with or actually it was around the same time, I had another collaboration with Helena Sehunason, and she was making, and with her songs too, it was very girly. I just had all these girly judgments, like it was almost like we were doing Cyndi Lauper music or something. I was like, I am not into Cyndi Lauper. I'm into like James Taylor, Cat Stevens, I'm cool with those guys, but not Cyndi Lauper style music. But that's how Jesus wanted to use me, so I had to just keep letting go, and it was actually, I could see that it was expansive. It was humorous even at the time. There were moments where I could see the humor in it, and so I think
come on, Erik, girls just want to have fun. Like,
right? You guys want me to do the cover of that one now? Girls. Well, that was funny, David. It's funny you said that, David. I was on a call with him earlier, and he mentioned he started singing that, but he sang instead of girls, he started singing "A Course in Miracle Students." He was like, "A Course in Miracle Students, just want to have fun." It was funny.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
But and then with Ricky, there was so much. I think it's always for the deeper healing. That's what the purpose of life is that forgiveness work that we're all engaged in with our relationships. And so the Spirit just uses, that was another thing David said on the call. He's like, it's all these projects. It's not really about the projects. It's not really about the music. Therefore, it's always about the collaboration for the purpose of healing and for just joining, like the joy of collaborating and joining, and then facing whatever we need to face in ourselves and going through it.
Yeah, that's so profound. Yeah. And all the interviews aren't for the interviews. They're not for what we think they are.
Yeah, they're like David said, they're like an excuse to just get together and have fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's really what we're doing.
It's like,
I agree with that. I mean, part of this process for us, like we're collaborating, and it's like, how polished versus not how non-polished do we want? And it's like, it can be both. It doesn't have to be, like we can take some rough cuts and polish them up if we're guided to. It doesn't have to be anything stressful, like that we have to meet a certain level of quality or something like that. It's just let it flow in a way.
But the ego wants to get in there so strong and be like, oh my God, you have to say the right thing, or oh my God, and let you know everything that's going wrong, and you have to freak out constantly. So it's a great mind. It's a great backdrop. It's a great to watch your mind around and see where you have those hangups and that inner dialogue that's telling you everything that's going wrong, blah blah blah. And I'm sure for collaborations, like you say, like with Armel, I'm sure with Ricky. I mean, I'm sure you could go on for hours about just how valuable.
It's almost like we get paired up with people who have very opposite ways of looking at the world at times than us, and then through this project, like, what, you think we should do it what way? Are you serious? And then it just shows us where we have these strong preferences, and then and it really gives us an opportunity to question those. Then that's the sole purpose of the collaboration, then is so that we can be happy by letting go of these blocks, these like opinions and these strong like I know the way it should be, and perfectionism and all that.
Yeah.
I
And
was
even just,
watching a
oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
watching a video of Frances the other day talking about her documentary "Take Me Home," and how she like made a cut of the movie that felt really beautiful to her, but she kind of had a feeling like this probably isn't going to go over well for audiences. Like it's not clear enough, it's not like professional enough. People won't understand the plot line, and that was the feedback she was getting, and but she just had to stay with like this is what feels like authentic for me. This is the way it wants to come through me. And even when she tried to give it to a professional person to like polish the sound quality and the visual, like even just basic things, when she got it back, it just didn't feel right anymore. She's like, no, even though it's not as good, like my version is not as good professionally, but it's what
That's
feels right. And yeah, I feel like that's been a big lesson for me with music as well.
mm, to let go of the form of it to being just right to just the heart of it being conveyed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Because that's what people really feel the most. Like there's the surface layer of things. You can polish the surface all you want and try to make something as beautiful or try to make it match what the ego is used to or what the ego would say is a high standard of professionalism. But then that's really just people pleasing or like audience pleasing, doing it
Right.
for other people. But if the purpose of life is to awaken from the belief in personhood and separation, then we really have to we have to really rethink that and say, no, it's not important what other people think. It's only important how I feel
Mm.
moment to moment. And if I'm staying true to how I feel and following my authentic joy and bliss, then that will then I'm actually being truly helpful for the whole sonship.
Yeah. You're just following your heart, literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Open
Yeah.
to receive.
Yeah. Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, do you feel to maybe play that other song that you were mentioning? I know that we have it looks like we have about 15 minutes left or so.
Yeah. We have our movie gathering tonight, so I've got to start preparing for
Yay.
that in about
Yay.
15 minutes.
I'm
But
going to be there. Yeah.
yeah, okay, great. I don't even know what movie we're going to show. We never know until the last minute, it
Hour
seems.
before. Yeah. If
Sometimes
that.
even 10 minutes before. I swear to God, we're like we're like, okay, quick, that's the one, download it. We have to. It's
Yeah.
so funny. It's
Well,
getting
it makes
more
sense. Yeah.
more
Yeah.
and
It
more
makes sense because you have,
spontaneous.
yeah, yeah, it's spontaneous. Yeah. You have all the movies at your fingertips. It's just a
Yeah,
matter, it could be 10 seconds before and it's like, oh, it's this one. Okay. Ding, push
yeah,
play.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So,
But yeah, this song, this was the very last song I wrote and yeah, I've had some other ideas for songs sort of trickle in since then, but none of them have become a full song. But this one was the latest kind of song that was completed, um, and I actually feel like it. I remember when I first wrote it, it felt very raw, and I felt kind of vulnerable singing it too because it's about my own self-hatred, which I felt like I was starting to get in touch with. Like we all have this unconscious self-hatred that is really the ego that hates itself, but we don't even know it's there most of the time because we're always just sort of on the surface of things. But I feel like it surfaces in a lot of different ways, especially when I was in that hermitage experience. I realized how difficult it was for me to just sit still and be alone, which I never used to think I had a problem with. I always felt like I was a good meditator and I was pretty good at being alone, and I spent a lot of my time alone. But that particular experience in the hermitage, in that trailer, was pretty deep, and I felt a lot of fear, and I felt a lot of kind of like this anxiety and self-hatred under the surface. So this song really came out of, I feel like a determination. Like I suddenly got really strong with myself. Like I need to stop distracting myself away from this. I need to stop, looking for other things to do. I was always looking for like something else to do other than just be. And so I wrote this song kind of came through as like a declaration of like a commitment to being with my feelings.
Mm.
So it's called Till I Find. Gonna take up all my time now to look at you. You're the love within me and the love I'm within. Gonna focus my attention on the things I know that I've heard you speaking from the depths of my soul. And I'm gonna just be silent when I cannot say what I know is truthful, when I need to pray. 'Cause I know you're in me and that I'm in you, and I won't stop searching till I've broken through to your life, to your love, to your endless love that I believe I have lost. I can't go on living without living in you, and so there's nothing that I need to do more than seek you inside, and I won't give up till I find. Gonna open up my heart now and invite the pain that I know is within me, but that I've pushed away. I wanna let it be exposed now to the light you shine, 'cause I know you'll let me still and tell me it's not mine. I feel a lot of self-hatred that I've tried to hide. I know I won't release it if I hold it inside. So I'm gonna use my time now to bring it all to you, and I won't stop till there's nothing left to break through in my heart, in my life, in my endless love that I believe I have lost. I can't go on living without living in you, and so there's nothing that I need to do more than seek you inside, and I won't give up till I find. I won't give up till I find. Won't give up till I find all that you are and all I am as you created me. I can't deny that I am falling in love, so I'll keep falling and trusting you to catch me. Gonna take up all my time now to rest in you. You're the love within me and the love I'm within.
Oh, God. So beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like that was like you could probably hear how it's a different quality, more of like a personal, like talking to God, and yeah, it felt really important to just embrace that sense of, now I do actually believe, I mean, if I'm honest with myself, deep down, I believe I'm separate from God. You know, I can intellectually say, oh no, I believe we're all one, but really, like, I believe that I'm separate, and so kind of opening up to that and just accepting that, I think, is the way that it gets healed. You know, opening up to that sense of separation, but then being willing to just, you know, go through it. And that's what that song kind of felt like for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
so powerful. I feel like I'm having a mystical experience right now, just listening. It's like, seriously, it's just amazing. It's I think you're demonstrating right now the power of music and what it can do as a tool. It's just so powerful. Just completely throw everything up in the air to God. It just gives it all to God. It's a prayer in action. It's just so, yeah. I was just really deeply moved.
Yeah, I think this, to add to that, it's like it brings us into the moment. Like we're in that moment together with you, like through you. Like you're bringing the moment in the music, and the authenticity that's there is what really like helps the connection, I think. Or it seems like that we can connect through the authenticity that comes through in that music, and then the sounds themselves, it's they cover up the world, and essentially, in a way, you know, like, not, I guess cover it up is not the right way to say it, but they can like bring you out of it in a way where it's almost like a vehicle, you know, like it's like, okay, well, like let's go for a cruise, you know. and
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. I know I often play, like when I play a concert or when I play for people, it does feel very mystical at times. Like it's, you know, yeah, like like between the songs, it might even, I might finish a song and then there's like 5 minutes of silence and my ego's in there screaming like, okay, everybody's waiting for you to play the next song. And you've heard that story, Jessica, about, maybe you have too, Eric, about the concert I played and where I just didn't even play any songs hardly. I just meditated most of it, and people were like, "Come on, like play this," but I couldn't. It was like I was in this mystical, you know, and I have to believe that that's all it's really for. It doesn't really, like you just said, Eric, that the music is just a vehicle to get you to that mystical state. But that's, the mystical state is the end. Like that's the goal. Once you're in that, then it's like just relish it. Like, you know, just relish, just relax completely and enjoy. Those are like the glimpses we need to keep remembering what this is all for, and yeah, the peace of God.
Yeah.
True.
Hmm.
Truth.
Word.
Yeah.
That's just, oh my God. The songs are so powerful. I feel like that term blown away. I'm just blown away. I don't have any questions. I'm just
Right. We could just bask
I'm good.
in the music now. And
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about. I don't care. Good. All good.
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's a good time for my like goofy question, where I was gonna ask, if not now, then when, because it's one of your songs. It's one of his song titles, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no better time than now.
Yep, exactly. It's always available.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe this is, it's getting pretty close to my time here, but
Yeah.
I just really feel grateful to have this opportunity to be sung through and to, like sink into this mysticism. And I don't really care about anything but that. I don't think any of us really do. Deep down, we just want this experience of peace and joy. And
Right.
so I'm grateful for this interview as like a context for me to go into that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's it.
That's all
It's
it's
a
really.
platform.
Yeah.
we can share and collaborate, and it's
Mhm.
almost more, that actually we were talking. Me and Jessica were talking about before this how, and I almost messaged when we were messaging last night. I almost mentioned it too, that like interview, like this interview is like, I'm like, it's more than an interview in a way, and I think the best thing we came up with was sharing. It's like a sharing, it's like a joining it, and it's not,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it's more than that. I think,
Yeah,
it's more.
yeah. For sure. Like it doesn't have to be scripted or structured or anything. Like we just
No.
I was praying too beforehand, before I got on the call with you guys, like, okay, is there anything, Spirit, you want me to talk about or anything? It was just silence. I just heard nothing. Like, okay, I'll just show up then and trust that, and I'm sure it
Yeah.
was that way for you guys too, probably just like, okay, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but that's the beauty of collaboration. I think we come together and in the willingness to join, then the Spirit just starts to kind of work through the puppets that we all are, and we don't have to plan ahead or anything really. It's quite relaxing.
It feels like a practice. It's kind of like a practice in trust, right? Like it's just, it's a trust. It's an opportunity to trust. It's a huge opportunity to trust. Like for me, I was like feeling a little bit off today, or like I was like, compared to the last interview, like, and so I'm praying and preparing for the interview, and then it's just like the trust, like the trust came back in, and it's kind of like that's the key, that it, it doesn't matter. I can see that, that like maybe I'm like in a bit of a funk compared to the last time beforehand, but ultimately it's about the trust, and that this is an inspired thing that we're participating in, and so
Exactly.
that makes it it's gentle in a way like that, like that we kind of all come together and join, that we have each other
Yeah.
to come together in
We
spirit,
right. It's an opportunity to join and come together in spirit. That's it. It's nothing more than that. And because of that, we can trust. We have to be able to trust. Otherwise, there's really nothing there. It's not like there is no actual interview happening. It's just an opportunity for the Spirit to heal our mind. And it's one mind. So we've all got it. So there's nothing more than that happening. So it's like, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It reminds me of that line in the Course about something about you don't have to be healed before you come to the holy instant. Like because that's the purpose of coming to the holy instant, is to be healed. And it's like you don't have to be healed before you come to the collaboration too. I remember David talking about being on the road in the early days, and he's going through all this darkness and healing while he's driving to a gathering where he's supposed to be like shining the light, and he's like, Spirit, how am I going to do this tonight? I'm in such a funk. There's no way I could talk in this state and share the good news. And but every time he would arrive, and then it was like it would all be healed by the time he got there, or something would shift the moment he was kind of activated to start speaking. And that's been a helpful parable for me lately, because I feel like I go through darkness every day, and then it's like, how am I going to do what I am supposed to do today? Or I don't know what I'm supposed to do today, actually, but I'm just going to trust that if you need me to do something, you will activate me in the moment, and I don't need to kind of be healed, beforehand.
So
helpful.
That's the line. Don't try to erase your fear, and
don't prepare for the holy instant, and
because that's what the holy instant is for. It's like, let me heal myself before you heal me. It doesn't make any sense.
I'll just heal myself, Jesus.
It's like, no.
It's like trying to heal ourselves. It's like going to the doctor. Like we're going to the doctor for like surgery, but we like try to do the surgery on ourselves beforehand. Like that would be ridiculous, Like I'll give myself some brain surgery. I'll cut out the bat,
It's like, it's so absurd when we look at it. It's like, okay, that does not make sense.
In a way, it's kind of like brushing your teeth before going to the dentist.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
So
good.
yeah, getting out of the driver's seat. Yeah.
well, thank you so
Here
much
we
for
are.
joining.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that was a joy.
Thank you.
So
Mm,
grateful.
so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much for doing this, and I'm so excited. I know the Music Lovers Guide to Enlightenment has been in the mind like for years and years, but it's never
Yeah.
really taken off. And so who knows? This feels like it's starting to take off, and Jesus
Yeah.
is in control. We'll see what
See
what
what?
He has planned for it, but it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
well,
so fun.
well,
Uh-huh.
if you feel it, I was feeling to see if you and there's no need for an answer right this instant or anything, but like, well, unless it's totally instant, I guess. But like, there's you don't have to let us know right now, but one of the things that came out of Netta happened to spontaneously offer to do like a live stream performance or something like that
Oh, I see what you're
with,
getting at. I know what
with
you're-
music lovers, huh?
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Do you
Live-
Yeah.
feel, potentially it could be like a festival or something, like a live, like a streaming
Yeah,
concert
like an online
festival thing?
conference.
Is
It's
that
a great idea, though. Yeah, like
A festival. I like that. We could have a digital festival.
yeah, it's like a
Like
digital
almost
festival.
like Strawberry it could be. We're taking
yeah.
Strawberry online. Digital festival.
Seriously, though, you could do you and Netta taking turns or something, or just individually. Like Netta could share, and then you could have your own little
Yeah.
like concert.
Well, I know I was on. I noticed that a bunch of people, I think, like a lot of course teachers, recently put on a big online conference, and I think like Bill Free and Lisa Natoli and a lot of, and they got a lot of big name teachers in there, and it was kind of like to replace the physical conferences that happen every year. It was like a new digital version where there's breakout rooms. I don't know about this. I know with Zoom you can have breakout rooms and you can
Yeah.
have different people talking in different rooms but all be connected. And I don't. It sounded like they were. It was pretty well organized, but yeah, there could be like a musical conference or a festival, or I feel like the sky's the limit with all this technology now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be happy to be part of do a performance and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It feels like it's coming into, well, Jessica's initiated some other contacts, but it feels like that it like, well, like it was like you and Netta, and then it just kind of fell into place that like she was inspired to book Netta first, and then you, and then it's like, well, who's next? And it kind of feels to just like stick with Course in Miracles artist first, but I could see it opening it up some too.
Yeah.
This festival kind of feels like more of a course theme, and not as like open to other new non-dualistic. But I think that the website as a whole is going to open up. I mean, like she reached out to Krishna Das, so hopefully she's like he's busy, or they were like he's busy, but check back in June with us, and so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I'm not sure about like when this would go online and about editing and all that. I did feel kind of when you were playing that second song that might be something to just put up there right away. It's all I don't know. I just kind of wait to see what comes in.
Yeah.
I did figure out how to put you big on screen. I did.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Good job,
All of a sudden I looked and yeah, that was cool.
I was curious. Let me try this because this is all going to get edited anyway. But yeah, see, there's no way to like get it so that you're the
main one.
the main one in that third shot, other than just coming into the room differently.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless I don't know, but we can potentially be going to.
There's ones too, like, oh, sorry. Well, like I'm just thinking, like Allow a Lion. He's sent me his music and stuff, and even just instrumentals, like just other. Can't think of his name right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
What about Marga? Is Marga like this? I'm not that connected with her. I'm not like it hasn't come up a lot. I know that there's like that was some of like the.
Who's Marga?
Isn't it Marga, or is it?
I don't know who that is.
I'm thinking of Resta.
Oh, Resta.
Yeah, Resta.
Yeah, I don't know what Resta's up to these days. I haven't. I wasn't really connected to her anyway in the much before, but you could maybe if you just search for her online, or I don't know, maybe she's, yeah, that'd be interesting. See if she's open to getting back into some. I don't know what she's up to these days.
Yeah, I have no idea either because I don't think
But
she's not.
there's Ricky.
Yeah.
Kirsten might be open.
Svava.
Svava.
Oh my God, there's so many.
There's that guy that he's not really Course in Miracles, but Amitabon, who does that
Yeah,
thank you
Omidabon.
song.
Yes.
He travels and does concerts a lot, but nowadays he's probably not doing so much of that. Maybe more online stuff. So yeah,
Omidabon.
I'm open to. We can stay open and just maybe once you have a date or whatever, we can connect and see.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
see what unfolds.
Yeah, it could be this summer.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
This-
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, well, I probably need to
Yeah.
get on to my next thing here.
Thank
Okay.
you again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Eric. Yeah.
Tell everybody we send them our greetings and
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I love you both. Thanks so much.
love you too.
Yeah.
Fairly well.
Bye.
I just took him off.
Oh, that was so good.